of the former President Rodrigo Duterte. When President Rodrigo Duterte addressed the nation in 2017, he promised that the following years would be the golden age of infrastructure in the Philippines that would enhance our mobility and connectivity. Filipinos were introduced to Build, the package of flagship infrastructure projects that the President vowed to deliver before leaving office. Pouring massive resources into the development of the archipelago's network of highways, farm-to-market roads, bridges, railways, seaports, and airports made sense as they would create jobs and enhance countryside development.
According to Cordero 2022, with only 2 months left before the Duterte administration is taxman, top officials said the government is successful in ushering in the golden age of infrastructure, which was promised by President Rodrigo Duterte when he unveiled an 8 trillion infrastructure program at the start of his tenure. As an update to Build, this 2022 Business World 2022 says that 18 out of 100 world infrastructure flagship projects under Build will be completed by June this year, with 12 additional projects to conclude by the end of 2022, while 89 more are scheduled for implementation by 2023 and to be accomplished in the next 6 years.
With all the ongoing projects to be accomplished, initially, it was estimated that the BBB would cost approximately 9 trillion pesos in 2016 to 2022, and that it would contribute approximately 7.0% of the country's gross domestic product, or the GDP, by 2022. With that, let us proceed to the general effects of the Build program in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. For the first positive effect of the Build program, it is said that the BBB is intended to improve the lives of millions of Filipinos by bridging the infrastructure gap in the country to increase rural development. For the second effect, the decongesting traffic in Metro Manila and large cities by dispersing economic activities and creating jobs when the BBB project was initiated in 2017.
Another effect is Filipino commuters' access to distance location reduces traffic, and there are numerous programs and infrastructures that have been completed. An example was the free MRT rides due to its rehabilitation. Also, because of the Build program, Filipinos are provided with employment, and after the infrastructure is constructed, transportation and food supply will also be accelerated. Lastly, the population will become more productive, which will gain more profit from the companies and possible expansion and even more jobs. Build reduces the amount of people who are living in poverty while simultaneously increasing economic growth.
And for the impact of Build project of Duterte's administration, some may say that it is not successful since pandemic strikes the country. But according to UE 2020, the vision of the project is to impact the every lives of Filipinos and enhance the countrysides in the Philippines. The project gives hope and opportunities to many Filipinos that they will have a better life.
According to CPBRB, the Build program was meant to bring about significant improvements and impacts in the infrastructure growth in the country to catch up with the rapid urbanization and population growth. However, it has been beset with problems or negative impact that resulted in serious delays in project, including the lack of technology, right-of-way acquisition problems, poor project preparation, and identification and procurement problems, among others.
According to CPBRD, COVID-19 in 2020, took a heavy toll on the global economy and impact the country's BBB program. Apart from the disruptions in construction activities, fiscal pressures widened heavily on the government and its development partners' ability to raise the funds to finance and ensure the timely completion of the vital infrastructure project in favor of more urgent COVID-19 responses, including health and digital infrastructure.
So let's proceed to the benefits and complications brought by the Build project of former President Duterte. The first benefit of Build project is to provide more jobs to Filipinos, filing up the huge manpower requirement of the government big ticket infrastructure projects that will be implemented under the Build program could increase the salary and benefits of one of the lowest paid workers in the Philippines. The second benefit is that our country has the chance to establish a strong economy as we will experience a vast economic growth. Lastly, the third benefit is bridging infrastructure gap in the country, pouring massive resources into the development of the archipelago's network highways, farm-to-market roads, bridges, railways, seaports, and airports made sense as they would create jobs and enhance countryside development.
And now, let's proceed to Build's complication. First complication is the increase of Philippine debt. According to Tugade, the 81.69 billion project was funded by official development assistance from China. The 9.96 billion project will be financed through a $172.64 loan agreement between the Philippines and the Export-Import Bank of Korea. Second is high resource consumption. Due to high needs for resources in Build program, there will be complications in having huge resources for construction that can possibly affect the environment and the shortage of construction materials. Resources fear losing of livelihood brought by displacement in the wider scale environmentally damaging constructions. Lastly, the list of work leads to cost overrun. According to Engineer Raul Noque of the Unified Project Management Cluster of MSSDO, bad weather, shortage of construction materials, lack of manpower, and COVID-19 restrictions had hampered construction work.